2025! It's a new year, it's time for new games. I'm super excited for what all 2025 has to offer, and of course I have to make the first video of the new year, but I decided to do it a little bit differently than I have in years past. Because 2024 was kind of a year of focusing on the backlog, and I think 2025 is also going to have a lot of that in it, I decided rather than just focusing on new games, let's just talk about games that I am excited for. So these are 25 games that I'm really hoping to play throughout 2025. Hi everybody, my name is Alex, aka Quality, and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I actually stole this idea off of Book Talk. I've been seeing a bunch of booktubers doing this and book talkers, book influencers doing this for 25 books of 2025, and I thought, hey, honestly, this would work really well for video games as well. So what I've done, I've picked 25 games that I'm hoping to play. It was miraculous that I played and beat 30 games last year, and I don't know if I can do it again this year, we'll see. But these are just games that I really have on my radar that I'd really like to try to play this year. I've divided them into 5 separate categories, so there's 5 games per category. And yeah, I'm really excited. I just thought this was a cool idea. And also the kazoo thing was totally impromptu. That's, you know, 2025 is the year of being wacky. That's what I'm saying. But without further ado, let's get into our first 5 games. The first category I want to talk about are 5 new releases coming out this year. Of course, I can't skip over talking about 2025 games. I think this is going to be a really big year in gaming. 2024 was definitely a lot more subtle, at least for me, in my opinion. But with a new Nintendo console on the horizon and lots of good games already announced to be coming out this year, I think we're in for a good time, to be honest. So let's start with 5 new releases that I am the most excited for. First up, this is definitely my most excited game. I've talked about this game on the channel before, and it's a game that when it was announced, I screamed and fell to the ground live on Twitch, and that is Professor Layton in the New World of Steam. I'm a huge Professor Layton fan. It is one of my favorite series of all time, and the fact that they are bringing it back, and now we're finally in the year that we're getting a new Layton game for the first time in forever, I am ecstatic. I am so ecstatic. What they've shown so far has been so good looking, and I am just so pumped to see what this new world has to do to revisit Layton and Luke and see what this mystery has in store. The art style so far is really cool. I was worried about that because when they made the transition over to the 3DS, the art style lost a lot of its charm that it had from the DS games with the 2D animations. The transition into 3D was a little weird, but it seems like with this one, it's kind of a mix between the two of them. Still modern 3D art style, but a lot more characteristic and a lot more expressive. So that's what I'm really hoping for with this one for sure. And just a good story, good puzzles. I mean, it seems like we're in for a good time with New World of Steam, and I'm so excited. I am just so excited. Next one, Atelier Yumiya, the Alchemist of Memories and the Forbidden Land. All of the Atelier games have such long titles that I will never really be able to commit to memory, I am afraid. Regardless, when this game was announced, I was taken away. I'm still very new to the Atelier series. I just played the first Ryza game this past year. I'm hoping to play more games this year. Something about how Yumiya looked, though, really hit me. For some reason, I feel like I'm already going to enjoy this one more than the Ryza games. And I really enjoyed the first Ryza game, don't get me wrong, but this one just really seems super exciting and super cool. I love the alchemy system, so I'm really excited to see how it'll be kind of modernized in this new game. And just, yeah, character design, badass, so good looking. I am pumped for Yumiya, and I really don't know much about it, to be honest. I have not done a ton of research because I'm kind of trying to go in like no expectations. I just want to give it a shot, especially if it turns out I don't like the rest of Ryza. But I'm really excited for this game. It just looks really nice, and yeah, I'm pretty pumped. Next, I actually talked about this in a recent collab with the wonderful Mad Kaiser, but Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. I have not played a Rune Factory game at all. I have some of them, but I have yet to play them, and I feel like I need to play some of the more traditional ones before I play this, but this looks so cool. While a lot of the other Rune Factory games definitely have a more European-inspired art style, Guardians of Azuma is very based in Japanese mythology, which just, I love that. You put a dragon in there, I'm sold. I'm super duper sold. It also has dueling protagonists, which I think is really interesting. They kind of have an intricate relationship with one another, and based on what I could tell by the trailers and the research I did for the collab, it seems like whatever main character you don't pick does end up being a part of the story, which I love when games do that. I think it's so cool. This one looks so exciting, and I honestly couldn't even tell it was Rune Factory during the first trailer that I saw of it. That's how crazy it looked, but it looks really cool. The farming aspect also looks pretty standard, pretty straightforward, but I'm way more excited about the story and the characters in this one because I'm really intrigued. Next, this is a big one of a game I actually already own on its original console, but just I've been putting it off because I've been hoping that maybe, just maybe, we would get a Switch port of this game, and we are Xenoblade Chronicles X, the only Xenoblade game I have not played. I love Xenoblade. If you've been on the channel for long enough, you know I love Xenoblade. And this one I picked up for the Wii U, I think 2 years ago for a video on the channel, just, you know, and because I wanted it. And I just never got around to playing it. So many other games, hooking up the Wii U is just kind of, yeah, you know. But I was determined, like, yeah, I gotta play it at some point in time. It's gotta happen. But when they just kind of, like, announced out of nowhere that we were getting a Xenoblade Chronicles X remake, I was blown away, flabbergasted, so now I'm just gonna wait until that comes out to finally experience this game. I've heard very mixed things about Xenoblade Chronicles X, from the exploration being phenomenal to the story being a little meh and the characters being a little eh. I have no idea what to expect. I have barely seen any gameplay of this game over the years. One thing I do know, the music is boppin', 100%, which, I mean, it's Xenoblade. How could it not be boppin', you know? But it's very different than other Xenoblade music. It's very, like, heavy kind of stuff, so I'm pretty darn pumped, if I'm being honest. I'm really excited to go into this with very little expectation and see how I feel about it. And the last new release I'm going to talk about today that I'm super excited for, Fantasy Life I or 1, I don't know if it's supposed to be a Roman numeral 1, The Girl Who Steals Time. This has been a game that we've been waiting for a long time, just as long as Professor Layton's when they announced that as well. Level 5. Please, I need the things. I need the things. I'm pretty sure this game is slated to come out this year. I can't totally remember. And this is another game I really don't know much about. I was not on top of video game news in 2024. That's something I really need to kind of get back into probably as a YouTuber, but you know, it's fine. Regardless, I never got to experience Fantasy Life on the 3DS, and it's a little bit more than I'd like to spend currently. I mean, it kind of fluctuates, but you know, I never played the 3DS version, so I'm kind of waiting to see what this new one has to offer. In Fantasy Life, you have the choice of being a whole bunch of different jobs and changing jobs in order to unlock new areas of this world. And it seems like this one is going to be a little bit more story-driven than the first Fantasy Life. I could be wrong. If you're a Fantasy Life fan, please correct me. I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, the premise of this game is super interesting to me, and I really want to try it out. People I know that played Fantasy Life on the 3DS loved it, so I want to be involved. I want to be included in this new game. All right, our next category of 5 games to talk about are Switch games. Switch games from my backlog that I already own because, yeah, after doing such a good job on my backlog last year, even with adding some new games into it, I am really determined to make another good-sized dent this year, especially in the Switch collection, given that it is my largest collection. I'm pointing at it, but you can't see it, but it's over there. So these are 5 that I think at least a few of these are definitely getting played this year no matter what, but ones that I really like to get to. Starting with, you know it, you love it, you know I haven't finished this game because I didn't talk about it this year, even though I've been talking about it since like 2022. Final Fantasy X. Yes. It's gonna happen this year, I swear on my life, I promise. I've had this game for a long time, and I talked about finishing this game back when I started a YouTube channel back at the end of 2022, saying that I was gonna play it in 2023. Never did. Said I was gonna play it in 2024. Never did. This is the year. This is the year I'm going to play Final Fantasy X. I swear on my life, it's going to happen. Yes, it's gonna happen. There hasn't really been anything in particular holding me back other than the fact that it's like, you know, it's a Final Fantasy game, it's a longer RPG. I have so many RPGs in my backlog, and especially when a new one comes out, I feel way more inclined to play that before going back to especially a remake of an older game, which no more this year. This year we're really gonna be diligent about that, like playing older remakes. Yes, it's gonna happen. I swear on my life. I don't know when. probably sooner rather than later. I'm playing Persona 4 Golden right now, so that's taking a lot of my time, but this is happening, I promise you. Next is a sequel of a game that I beat in 2024, and one that I loved from a series that I love. And I talked about it actually in my most recent video of a game that I'm definitely going to be playing. Ace Attorney Investigations, Prosecutor's Gambit. I played Miles Edgeworth last year, loved it. I love Ace Attorney. I've spoken so highly of this series for so long already that I feel like I don't need to dwell on it too much, but I love the Ace Attorney series. Investigations, it's such a blast. Like, I don't know what it is, but this game, this even more so than like the normal Ace Attorney games, really just does something for me, and I don't know if it's just because I'm playing as Edgeworth or like the top-down style. I have no idea. But regardless, I'm super excited for Prosecutor's Gambit. I've heard it's a joy and a wonder even more than the first game, so this is going to be happening probably after I finish Persona. I feel like I'm gonna need something that isn't a large RPG after finishing Persona, so this might be the direction I go in. Or if not that and I want to jump into another RPG, I always have Dragon Quest III, the HD 2D remake. I just got this game for Christmas, and of course I'm gonna play it. I felt such FOMO when everybody was playing it when it came out, but I was like, no, I have to stay in my lane. I can't buy it right now. I'm playing so many other games. I'm not gonna finish it before the end of the year. And yeah, but now I have it, and I'm so excited to play it. I'm so excited to play it. This was the #1 game I wanted on my Christmas list, 100%. And I've been waiting for this remake for years, for absolute years. I'm still relatively new to the Dragon Quest fandom, but I absolutely fell in love with the monster designs, the worlds, the music, the characters, just everything. And I know how big and wonderful of a game Dragon Quest III is, so I'm so excited to finally experience it in such a beautiful way too. So this is getting played very much so within the first half of the year at the very least, but probably sooner rather than later. Another game I've really been holding off on for not really any particular reason, but I'm definitely feeling more inspired to play now that the next game, a very big surprise sequel, got announced at the Game Awards, and that's Okami. I've never played Okami. I have it on the Switch. It's still unopened on the Switch, but I'm really happy to have this physically. It's a beautiful case, and I know this game is beautiful. I've watched so many friends play it over the years, and I've never experienced it myself, so I'm really excited to get into it, and I feel like I have to play it before the sequel comes out. Obviously, I don't know when the next Okami game is coming out, but the fact that they announced it, that was a big moment in gaming, to be honest, was getting the next Okami game that we never thought was happening announced at the Game Awards, which, wild, right? Totally wild. So it definitely put the original game back on my radar, and I'm really excited to get into this at some point in time this year. And finally, I already talked about the series when talking about Atelier Yumiya, but I want to play the next Atelier Ryza game, at least playing 2, if not finishing the entire series this year. But I've heard 2 is really when it starts to pick up, which is exciting because while I liked the first game, I definitely had a few grievances with it, with the characters and the total slowness at the beginning, the confusion with alchemy. So I'm really excited to see how the second one kind of builds upon the good stuff in the first one. So I don't know when I'll get to this. Hopefully soon, so I can kind of make a decision about this. But again, I feel like I need to finish these before I play Yumiya, so we'll see. This could also be a sooner rather than later kind of situation. Next category are games in my backlog that are not Switch games. I'm very fortunate to have quite a few games on a lot of different consoles, and these are 5 that for some reason I haven't been able to get out of my head recently. And I don't want to just play Switch games all the time, right? I gotta broaden my horizons and play some games that I might have missed over the years. And we're starting with a really goofy one, but I can't get this game out of my brain, and that is Trauma Center Second Opinion. So I picked this up kind of as a joke because big fan of the Game Grumps series of Trauma Center. I also got Endless Ocean Blue World, but I don't know, something about Trauma Center has really just been in my brain recently, and I feel like I need to play it. I really need to play it. I don't know if it's just because it's Atlas and I've been playing Persona, but I want to play it. Trauma Center fans, let me know. Do you like Second Opinion, even though it's on the Wii with motion controls and other such things, or do you prefer Under the Knife? I'm very intrigued in your answers. Regardless, I'll be playing this version because this is the version I have, but I'm intrigued. I can't wait to be a doctor. Another Wii game and a big RPG I've wanted to try for a really long time, The Last Story. So I picked this up a few years ago at the Detroit Retro Game Show for a really great price. It's in great condition, and I know very little about this game. I've heard a few things about it when talking about the initial struggle to bring this, Pandora's Tower, and Xenoblade over to the US. But aside from that, I don't know a ton, so I'm really excited to get into this game. Like, it just seems so interesting. I've heard it's a hidden gem, so definitely would like to add this onto my list this year. It's also not a very long RPG either, so it seems really manageable. So I feel like that's especially what'll be good for me on Wii as well, given that, you know, playing the Wii for a prolonged period of time now is kind of strange. I don't know why that is. It's very, very odd, but I'm really excited to get into this game this year for sure. This is a game that has been haunting me for years, have not played it, have not even opened it at all. And I got this for Christmas probably back in 2014, 2013, one of those years. And that is Paper Mario Color Splash. Still sealed, still completely sealed from that Christmas all those years ago, almost a decade ago now, and I haven't opened it. I am going to play this year. I'm probably going to play this on stream over on my Twitch channel as I make my comeback to streaming this year as well, but this is the only Paper Mario game I have not played, and I've heard very mixed things about Color Splash. Better than Sticker Star, not quite as good as Origami King, and definitely nowhere near the original trilogy, but I've heard the writing in this game in particular is wacky and wild and hilarious. So I love the dialogue in Paper Mario, obviously. I think it's one of the strongest things about the series. So I am pumped to see what the heck this game has to offer. It'll be so weird finally opening this when I do, but yeah, this is the year of Color Splash. I'm finally doing it. Got a few 3DS games as well, both RPGs. First with the original Bravely Default. Now I have Bravely Default 2 on Switch. However, I feel like I should play the 3DS one first. I don't know why, but that's just how I feel. So I definitely want to hit up this one this year as well. I watched my mom play a lot of 2, and I love the combat in that game. And I don't think there's a huge difference between 1 and 2. I could be super wrong on that. All I know is you have the Brave and Default system, so I'm really interested to finally get my hands on it and try it out for myself. I love switched up turn-based RPGs. I love mechanics like that really make you think and strategize in different ways. So I'm super excited to get into the original Bravely Default this year. Another RPG on the 3DS that I've been wanting to play for so long, and it's still crazy to me that I haven't, but that is Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia. Yeah, I am pumped. This is the year. This is the year I finally play this. I need to experience Celica for my own experiences. I love her. She's gorgeous. I've just heard so many good things about this one, and I'm definitely in like a Fire Emblem drought right now. I am really hoping and wishing we get some kind of Fire Emblem game announced this year. I didn't do like a 2025 wish list, but if I did, that would be on it, is a new Fire Emblem game this year for either the Switch successor or the Switch. I need some Fire Emblem, so I will definitely be diving into Echoes this year finally. Next are 5 indie games that I really want to play. Most of these actually aren't new releases either. A lot of these are indie games that I've had in my backlog for a while, or my wish list for a while, and I just haven't gotten to them yet, which that's another, it's a gaming New Year's resolution. I want to make sure I play more indie games this year. The ones I played in 2024, I adored. I want to play more of them. Normally I do, but something about 2024 I just really didn't. So I want to play more indie games this year. People, show me your indie games. Give me your favorite indie games. I want to play them. But these are 5 that have been on my radar for a while that I really want to play. First up is Oxenfree. I've had this game for years. Every year I keep saying, yeah, I'm going to play it on Twitch for Halloween because it's spooky and eerie and I love that stuff, and I have not done it. I think I need to not wait for Halloween. I think I just need to play it. Just pick a random night and say, all right, we're doing Oxenfree, and then just go for it. But it's so atmospheric, and as I said, really creepy as you're exploring this island and supernatural things are happening. This is another game I really don't know a ton about because I didn't want to spoil myself on it. But yeah, It's gotta happen. It's really, really, really gotta happen this year, so it's going to, I swear on my life. I just have to find the right eerie enough day to play it. Next is a game I feel like I have totally missed the boat on. So many people have already played this, so many people have already fallen in love with this game, and I totally missed it. Omori. I really, really, really want to play Omori this year. I'm a big Earthbound fan, so Omori has been on my radar for years since it came out, but I just haven't taken the plunge yet. I actually just bought it during the Steam winter sale like 2 days ago. So I definitely will be playing it this year now that I own it. But yeah, it's just, the art style looks so good. The combat seems really fun, having to manage your emotions and stuff of you and your party members. It just seems like a really, really cool and very, I don't know, very emotional experience that I think I need to experience this year. So I'm super pumped to finally play Omori. This next one is actually the only game of the 5 indie games that is not out yet, but this is a game that I am so excited for. I didn't even really know about it until it just happened to show up on my Twitter one day, and I'm obsessed. I've been following the devs now, and I am pumped, and that is Detective Instinct Farewell, My Beloved. I am a big fan of detective games, and this one seems like it's very Ace Attorney inspired, Hotel Dusk inspired, which is a game I haven't even played yet. Really want to. Hopefully I can get to that this year as well. And just, I love that so much, and it's got a beautiful pixel art style. I'm just so intrigued in how this game is gonna go. There is a demo, and I haven't played it yet because I don't want to spoil myself, but I really love that the detective visual novel genre is really making its rounds in the indie dev community, because I think it's such a great and undertapped just genre of indie games. So I am so excited to play this one when it comes out sometime this year. Another visual novel, Coffee Talk 2, Butterfly and Hibiscus. Now, I loved the first Coffee Talk. I also played Tavern Talk, which, while made by different people, very similar vibes. You're a barista, or in Tavern Talk, a tavern owner, making drinks, talking to people, and learning their stories. And I've heard great things about the sequel to Coffee Talk as well. So I'm really excited to pick this one up at some point in time too. It's probably gonna be another stream game because I streamed the first one. And yeah, the wonderful art style, the vibes, the music of the original Coffee Talk, I'm so excited to return to that in the sequel. So I'm really excited. That's gonna be also probably a sooner rather than later one, especially when it's winter and it's cold outside and we need cozy vibes, you know? And finally, the game everybody's talking about, not our Game of the Year winner, but a nomination, and it won a whole bunch of other awards too, Balatro. I feel like I'm missing out hardcore. Like, I try not to get game FOMO, but this is one that everybody is playing Balatro now. Everybody. Even my dad is interested in it because it's poker related. And I feel like I need to get in on it. I really, really do. I love card games, and I don't even really know a ton about Balatro. It's kind of really magical how little I know about so many of these games I want to try. I feel like a kid again. It's great. Regardless, this is one I really want to get into, and probably, like, I don't know if I want to get it on Steam or on my phone. I can just play it all the time. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm scared of getting addicted, and that, I think, is what's holding me back, because people love it. People absolutely love it, and I feel like it's a game that I'm gonna get really into. So we'll see when I play it, but I definitely plan on playing such a big indie game sometime this year. Now for our last category. This one's a little bit different than the others because some of these are more concepts or genres versus actual games. And this last category is 5 games or gaming related experiences that are going to put me out of my comfort zone. Which, here's the thing, I have a pretty open mind when it comes to video games. If something looks mildly interesting, I will give it a shot. Or if somebody recommends me to something, I'm probably gonna give it a shot. There's very few things that I would flat out say no to. But these are games that I've kind of been avoiding because I've been scared to play them. That doesn't mean they're horror games. I'm scared for different reasons. I really want to break out of my preconceived habits this year when it comes to gaming and try new things, you know? So first up, this is a game I've also talked about on the channel, I'm pretty sure, about having not played yet, but one that it's gonna happen this year, Hades. I have been so scared to play this game, even though everybody and their mother has played this game since it came out, and now Hades 2 is out as well. I need to play this. Roguelikes scare me because I'm not very good at games for the most part. That's not true. That's not giving myself enough credit. But when it comes to very high-paced, fast action games, I do get a little freaked out. And with a game where it's so easy to die so often, I get scared. I'm very scared of getting frustrated and then dropping it because I know this game is so good. But I am very scared, but I'm gonna play it this year. I'm at least gonna give it a shot. That is the plan. Ideally, I would like to beat and finish this game at least a few times. Obviously, you have to do a few runs in order to see as much as you can possibly see throughout the game, but I really want to at least get at least one successful run, maybe. I don't know, I'm scared. I'm really scared, but I will be playing Hades this year, I promise it. In a similar vein, but I actually don't have this game, Hollow Knight. I have never loved a game that I have never played so much. I adore everything about Hollow Knight, from the art, the music, the locations, how fluid the combat is, which is crazy because yeah, I think maybe I've played like 2 seconds of Hollow Knight on somebody else's Switch before, but I want that game so badly, and I actually think Hollow Knight will be easier for me than Hades for a lot of reasons. I've gotten a lot better at games like Hollow Knight over the past few years, so where I was very worried and skeptical in like college when I was pretty much exclusively playing RPGs at that point in time, because that's all I could really do, and that's what my limited funds went to, were more RPGs. I feel like I would have much better luck with it now, so I would really like to give it another shot this year. I'd also like to try a Souls game this year. My most experience I've ever had playing a Souls game was I played like 2 seconds of Elden Ring and I got mauled by a bear and fell off a cliff. And that was it. So I would like to not do that. I don't know what one to try though, so if you are a fan of any of the Souls games, what one do you think somebody entirely new to the series should start with? I've heard a lot of people say Elden Ring is a great starting point for newcomers to the series, but I'm really happy to listen to any other opinions. I know these are games I'm going to love, even though people say that they're really hard. The fact that a game is hard doesn't necessarily put me off. It's more of the commitment to trying to get good is what is more scary. But yeah, so I'm really interested to hear what you guys would think. What should be my first ever Souls game? Let me know. I would also like to try a big Western RPG this year. Now, aside from Baldur's Gate 3, I've never really played a ton of Western RPGs in my life. Most of them have been JRPGs just because, being mainly a Nintendo person, you don't really get a ton of the big, meaty Western RPGs on Nintendo consoles. You have a few exceptions here and there, but for the most part, not really. And if they do come to Nintendo consoles, they're usually a little laggy and maybe don't look as good. So that's also turned me off over the years. But since I have had a gaming PC for a long time at this point in time and still feel like I have not fully utilized all of its capabilities, aside from Baldur's Gate 3, I think it's time to play a bigger Western RPG and really experience it. I haven't even played Skyrim. Like, that's how not in the world of Western RPGs I am. I have never played Skyrim. I've seen plenty of Skyrim. Many of my friends loved it, but I've never played it. So I'm thinking games like The Witcher 3, maybe Red Dead Redemption, Skyrim, honestly, who knows? Maybe. But that's kind of where I'm leaning towards. I actually did already buy one, and I don't want to say what one, but I think that's probably where I'm leaning, so we'll see. I haven't made any for sure decisions, but it was another wonderful winter Steam sale pickup that was so cheap that I couldn't pass it up, so we'll see. We'll see what one. Stay tuned. Make your guesses now. What Western RPG am I gonna play this year? Who knows? And finally, this is more like a personal New Year's resolution kind of thing, but still fitting. I want to play more games online with people. I'm not saying like I'm gonna play Fortnite or anything like that, or like get into random lobbies with people that might yell at me. That's not the vibe I'm looking for, but just playing more games online with friends. I get really nervous talking to people through Discord. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I have a fear of talking to people on the phone, which I've been working on for years at this point in time, and we're getting better. But even sometimes it's really difficult to just like talk to my friends on Discord and play a game together and stuff. I always feel really uncomfortable, and I don't want to do that because I unfortunately, the sad thing about adulthood is you can't always have all of your friends come over and play Mario Party all the time. So I need to find a way to fulfill that need of friendship in gaming even if people cannot physically be at my house. So, I don't have any ideas for games. I have a lot of friends that play Destiny 2, which I think I'd probably vomit if I played Destiny, but just something. I want to play games with friends. That is such a big goal of this year, because gaming, especially being on YouTube, having so many friends that play video games, it really is like a community experience sometimes, and I really want more of that this year. So if that means finding games to play online with friends, so be it. I want to make it happen this year. But that's 25 games, or in case of the last category, gaming experiences that I would really like to happen in 2025. Again, I think we're in for a great year of gaming, and I'm so excited to see what other new releases are coming out this year. But I'm also really excited to hit some of my own personal goals in terms of games in my backlog and games that I want to beat for me. So I'm super excited. Let me know what 2025 releases you are most excited for this year, or what game has been sitting in your backlog for a few years and you've decided 2025, it's the year you're gonna play and beat it. Let me know. I'd love to hear your 2025 gaming plans. But that is gonna do it for me, and I will see you in the next video. Let me kazoo you out. That was really bad. Goodbye!